Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all doing fine on this Sunday morning. Look, a little bit glum, a little bit sad, a little bit disappointed, disgruntled, angry, you name it. We feel it. This is nothing new. This is something that has been going on for a number of years now, and we've come accustomed to it. The worst thing I think I would add is that when we used to lose back in the day, it used to ruin my week. I feel like I used to feel like down in the dumps for a whole week, and I wouldn't talk to anyone. And then but the worrying thing is that these days I just feel numb. I really don't feel anything. I feel numb. I feel like empty inside. You know what I mean? I'm just like whatever. It's just another thing. It's just another one. But guys, I know everyone is going to want me to come out here and go, sack the fraud, sack him now. Look, you know what? I mean, the results speak for themselves. Ruben Amorim needs to get better results, and the results are not good enough. And a lot of that is down to him. And the reason is he keeps picking the players that are flattered to deceive. Now, how do you trust people that have sank various ships in the past? Lots of ships have been sunk by these players. The players that he chose have been sunk. These players are manipulative players. Some of them, I would call them liars. And I think that they're flattered to deceive. And when it's time to down tool, they will down tool. Now, it's up to Ruben Amorim to spot this. And we've been saying it, various managers over the years, about Eric Ten Hag, for example. I said in a year's time, we're going to be here talking about the same old issues. Now, Luke Shaw, Dalot, Maguire, Bruno are still at the football club, guys. These players have been at the football club for a long, long time now. And I just feel I don't trust these players. This is why I said at the beginning of the season, if I was Ruben Amorim, I would get rid of every single player that has been here a number of years. I would get rid of all of them. All those players that have been here a number of years, get rid of them. We don't need them anymore. Now, it is down to Ruben Amorim to pick the right team. Everyone has been speaking about Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes has been a poor performer over the not only this last season, but he's been a poor performer last season as well. And everyone wants to back him up. And everyone with the low intelligence just wants to blame the manager in regards to that. The only thing I would blame the manager is that he plays Bruno. I don't care if Bruno plays a 10. And I don't care if he plays a number 8. Bruno's not good enough. Right? And that is it. He's a stat padder. He's our worst captain in our history. You can talk all you like, all that smack about him being this, being that, but he is the worst captain in our history, guys. And I've said it numerous. I've seen great captain that sort of guy. I've seen the likes of Brian Robson. I've seen Steve Bruce. I've seen Roy Keane. I've seen David Beckham was a captain. They're all better than Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is a down tooler. Bruno Fernandes is a blame merchant. Now, the only thing I am very, very upset about and I'm angry about is the fact that Bruno Fernandes came out after the Man City game and threw Lenny Yoro under the bus. He threw Lenny Yoro under the bus, and basically Lenny Yoro hasn't been seen since. Right? And this is what I'm talking about. Lenny Yoro was the one who got dropped, even though it was Bruno Fernandes' mistake. Now, this is where you blame the manager. Is it Bruno Fernandes that's calling the shots? I don't know. But it's not just him. There's a number of weak, overrated players that have been at this football club too long now. Too many years they've been at this club. Harry Maguire, not good enough. I'm sorry, not good enough. Slow finish. And like I said, before the game yesterday, what did I say? I said, how do you expect players that have been serial failures for many, many years to miraculously become these fantastic, brilliant players that where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? How do you expect that to happen? They're not. They're in the prime of their career. Some of them in the latter, just turned 30. So how do you expect them to improve? It's diabolical, isn't it? Now, when you're stubborn in your ways. Now, if I was a Man United manager, I would be looking forward. I'll be looking to the future. Like many of us say, Lenny Yoro and Aidan Heaven will be starting in my first team. No more Maguires, no more Luke Shaws. That will be my first team. We're moving forward now. We're not thinking about, the past, the old chapters. De Ligt will be my centre-back in the middle. Bruno would not even be in my team. I'll be looking forward. Because what is going on here? We know Cunha's a great player. We know Mbremo's a great player. What's going on? Now, a lot of people are going to want me to come out here and say, sack him, because that's what you're on. Sack him then. Sack him. The problem is this, guys. The problem is this. In a year's time, we will be back here, guys, with your Brunos and everything like that, we will be back here saying the same old nonsense. We will. Get Glasner in. They're going to throw Glasner under the bus. Who's Glasner? Unproven European manager that is, comes into Man United. Everyone expects, just like Ruben Amorim, everyone expects him to change everything, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes into Man United and realizes what the cultural problem is. And this is what I've been talking about, cultural problem at this football club, mentality problem at this football club. Cunha said that as it is. Cunha's not saying anything that we've been saying for years and years now, about character. Character. It's culture. It's character. And this is exactly what we do. This is nothing new, Cunha. To us, this is nothing new. Now, there's going to be a lot of self-righteous idiots out there saying, oh, you know what? I told you about Ruben Amorim a month ago. I told you about him a month ago, blah, blah. Just support your bloody football club. That's all we're here to do. Support the football club. That's what we are here to do. We're not here to, I'm right, you're wrong. Because all people care about is, I'm right, I'm wrong, you're wrong. That is all they care about at the end of the day. And that is where we go wrong as a fan base. You know what I mean? I'm right, you're wrong. You know what I mean? Some of them look like, they just need to look at themselves in the mirror to understand that, and to maybe take some of their own advice about being right and wrong. But what I would say is this. I'm not going to be screaming to the rooftop, get him out of my club. Get the fraud out of my club. I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that now. I'm long gone from the sacking managers, get him out of my club brigade. However, results are what football is about. And, if he gets removed, another one bites the dust for me. I'm not going to cry about it. As I said earlier, I feel numb. I feel disappointed. I feel fed up. I'm not in the mood to do it. I stopped doing match ratings. I stopped doing that because none of these players even deserve a rating. There's a handful of players there that I will say, you know what? I would like them to stay at Man United. A handful. We're talking about a squad of players. I only would keep a handful. Which key players would I keep? Aiden Heaven, Lenny Yoro, De Ligt, Bremo, Cunha, Sesko maybe, and that's it. That is the only players that I would keep in this bloody football club. I would get rid of a lot of those fans as well who coming on here and saying, oh, I told you. I'm not in for I told you. As I said many, many times, I would happily be wrong 1,000 times out of 1,000 if it meant Man United being successful. I could scroll back to Ten Hag and tell you I told about Ten Hag. It's ridiculous, guys. And I hope you're all doing well anyway. I know it's difficult, but I just want to say that, guys, I think we all need to reevaluate things. I think what we need to do is look at things from every single angle, like we're looking at a business, right? We need to look at it from above and look at all the problems that are at this football club and where they stem from. Why do we keep getting into this situation? Why are we here again? What is going on? Why do we keep getting into this place where we're looking at that team and we're looking at look, guys, we're not playing Real Madrid yesterday. We were playing Brentford, who lost their manager, who lost a lot of players, including the player who plays for us, and Bremer, who was their best player, right? They were weak. They haven't had a good start to the season. And we should have lost by 5 or 6-1 yesterday, right? So what is that? Is that just down to the manager? Is that just down to the manager, right? That we should have lost 5 or 6-1 against Brentford, just like against Grimsby. Was that down to the manager? It doesn't matter. Look, Leyton Orient could get a team out against Grimsby and win against Grimsby. So it is, no matter what the tactics, it is these players then, isn't it? It's these players are the ones that are down tooling, right? Again. But he is the man who picks the team. And we said it before the game. It's not like we're talking rubbish. People think we're talking, we're just saying it for the sake of it, for buzzwords and things like that. We know what the problem is. And we've been telling you what the problem is. Bruno can get out of this football club right now. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of him throwing his hands around. I'm tired of him with his petulance. Luke Shaw, get out of this football club. I'm tired of you. Maguire, get out of this football club. I'm tired of you. Diego Dallo, get out of this football club. I am tired of you, mate. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of all these players that have been there years and years, flattering to deceive. At the end of the day, that's what I would say. I'm tired of it, honestly, and we need to move on from the old picture. We need to move on from these players. We need to move on from this culture, this toxic culture, this infectious culture that has been at this football club, guys. And I'm tired of it, and that includes some of the fan base as well, because I had some people coming in there, oh, hold that what? Hold that what? That you're not a Man United fan. If you're coming on this stream and you're saying hold that, Are you a United fan? Do you want to support this football club? Or do you want to just support your own dead opinion? Maybe if you're such a righteous person that you're right about everything, you're so great about everything, why do you look like an elephant? Just shush at the end of the day. Welcome everyone to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Morning, Sal. Our club shambles from top to bottom. I do not think changing managers will solve it. It will not. It will not. It's not the only thing. And this is what we're saying. Look, at the end of the day, we have to be realistic and we have to say, look, Ruben Amorim picks the team. Every man in these dogs knows that Bruno can't play in that midfield. We need a manager that is going to come in and completely rock the boat. Completely say, right, Bruno, for me, you're captain. You're not captain anymore. I don't want him at the football club anymore. When I see a manager doing that, and I've seen some characteristics in regards to Ruben Amorim with Rashford, with certain players, yes. But every man in his dog can see that Bruno Fernandes cannot play in that midfield. We've been talking about it time and time again. He either plays a number 10 or he doesn't play anything. Now, I'm not saying that's the only reason we lost. But look at the team yesterday. The first goal went bypast the midfield. Maguire completed on his own. Maguire was too slow. Don't know why Maguire was playing in the middle. Why was Maguire playing as a centre-back yesterday? And this is where we have to criticise Ruben Amorim. This is where we can't exempt him from any blame. He picked those players. And some people told me, but who's he going to pick, Sal? Who's he going to pick? He's got no one else. Mate, we got Lenny Yoro. We got Aiden Heaven. We got Kobe Mainu. We got these players who we can play. And if you want to, we got a great bunch of talented young players in those under 21s that can come in and actually probably do a better job. You know, and this is what we're talking about here. Diego Dallo, guys. How many times have I spoke about this guy? How many times I spoke about Diego Dallo? How many times I spoke about this guy is not good enough? This guy is poor. This guy is crap. This guy is rubbish. Mate, I mean, I've been watching Man United for the last 40 years. You know, I do feel like I have a right to tell you what is a good player and what is a bad player. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at these players characteristically flawed. And you know what? This is the one thing that's concerning for me. The one thing that's concerning for me is that we are doing the same thing with Bremer and Cunha. These players are getting the disease. You can see they're slowly starting to get into that disease again, that disease that gets infectious. You know, Bruno needs to be at this club, and we should have sold him in the summer. Ephraim, Sal does not help himself by his selection. I think his next game has to be bench Bruno, Dalot, Maguire, and mate. But he should have known that already. We've been screaming out from the rooftop that Bruno Fernandes is not good enough anymore. He's finished. He shouldn't be playing for Man United, even as a number 10. I'm telling you right now, we need to move on from all this nostalgic attitude that is holding us back, to be honest. And that's what it is. This nostalgia attitude that has been holding us back for time and time again. The same thing, you know? Kenny, do you think he'll bench Bruno? He's not going to bench Bruno. Absolutely not. Morning, Sal. He needs to change his selections, mate. No more Bruno as 8. Maguire, Shaw out. Euro Heaven in needs to try something new, even bring in some youth. And at this point, we won't drop it. And this is the problem. And this is what we said yesterday, Daryl, isn't it? Big up, Daryl. I hope you're doing well. This is what we said, isn't it? We said that you live and die as a manager. You live and die on your decisions. And if you keep doing the same thing, I can't defend him. And I said it yesterday. I cannot defend him because he's doing the same thing time and time again. The same decision time and time again. I wish I could defend him, but I can't defend him anymore. You know, if you're playing Bruno as a midfield, you can tell when Bruno's attitude, he's down tooling again. This guy, I said it yesterday, he is the final master of the bomb squad. Is Bruno Fernandes, the one you didn't expect. He's the final master of the bomb squad. I'm telling you right now, he epitomizes the culture that has been wrong at his football club, just like all of those players, just like Rashford, just like Sancho, just like all of them. Yeah, he works a little bit hard, doesn't he? But he's our worst captain in our history. And what are we doing, guys? Why are we keeping hold of these players? Why are we begging these players? No, why are we licking these players' backside? Do you know what I mean? It makes me go mad. Big up, Darren. Darren, what's going on, my friend? It seems Bruno has to take Penn's free kicks and wants to score. It's all about him. Exactly, Darren. And you say it as it is. He can't take corners. I've never seen a bloody corner that reaches his man in the penalty area. I've never seen a corner from Bruno Fernandes. I thought, wow, this guy can't take free kicks. This guy can't take corners. He scores one free kick in 20, 30, 40, even 50 attempts. right? And Bremo can take better free kicks than him. Cunha can take better free kicks than him. And he just wants to take everything. He wants to do everything. And penalties, it's all about him. I want to take the penalties. I looked at Bruno yesterday and I saw his face and I said, that guy's going to miss. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to jinx it. But I can see in his face, right, that this guy's going to miss. This guy's nervous. He's going to miss. This guy's not got a character for Manchester United. He doesn't. If you're feeling down about the penalty, if you feel like I can't take this penalty, give the ball to Mbeumo. Give the ball to Cunha. Whoever you want. Give the ball to Sesko. Give it to them. Say, look, mate, I'm not feeling up for the penalty today. Do you want to take the penalty? Do it. Because so far, guys, as far as I'm aware, that would have made it 2-2. Right? And let's say we drew the game 2-2, guys. Right? Because when we were 2-1 down, we pushed forward and we obviously contributed to us conceding the third goal. So if we went 2-2, we wouldn't have lost that game. We might have went on to win it. But let's say it ended 2-2, right? So far, Bruno, right? He gave away the ball against Fulham, which led to the equaliser. But let's forget about that. He missed the penalty because he got intimidated by a referee who gave him a little nudge. 2 points. Brentford, 1 point. That's 3 points so far Bruno's cost us, right? That's 1 point so far Bruno's cost us. Who gave away the corner against Arsenal? Mr. Bruno, right? That's another 1 point. We could have got a point against Arsenal. Minimum, 4 points. Now, we're talking about this, guys. This is our captain we're talking about. This is the captain of Manchester United we're talking about at the end of the day, right? And as I said at the beginning, don't trust captains that have sunk multiple ships. Because at the end of the day, they will sink another. Because they know they won't be held accountable. We're giving this guy £300,000 a week. £300,000 a week. This guy. My goodness. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Big up, bonus Liverpool, Chelsea loss. I mean, that makes me even more annoyed, Daryl. It makes me even more annoyed. It makes me so annoyed that Tottenham, Liverpool drop points. Chelsea drop points. That makes me even more annoyed because Man United would have been 2 points from second if we won yesterday. 2 points from second. How many times have we done this to ourselves? How many times have all the teams drop points and then it's our chance against a weak Brentford team, by the way, and go and lose. Not lose, get thumped. Because we should have been thumped yesterday. We should have lost 5 or 6 yesterday. We played, from the start of the game, we were rubbish. Now, we can bring in another manager. You can do what you want. Bring in another manager. Do it. By all means, do it. We're going to be here in a year's time anyway. You can put your 4-3-3s. If those players, if those nucleus of the same players that have been flattering to deceive over the last few years are still at this football club, you know what I mean? God help us. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be in the same position again, guys. We need a manager that's going to come in and say, right, Bruno's not my captain. Needs to be gone. Don't want him anymore. We need to move on from that. You know, this guy is the captain. That's why I bring him out. That's why I target him. He's the captain. Good morning, Chow. What's going on? It's getting hard to vent Amorim and choose plays. Sean Maguire buying there. Dalot, the CEO, has to go as well. Bruno needs to go. You got to mention Bruno there, mate. It doesn't feel the same anymore if Liverpool or Chelsea lose. We are miles away from. We don't. Sonny, you're right. We don't deserve to be anywhere near that top 4. We don't deserve. We are getting outplayed by Brentford. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Man United over the years. And I said it before the game. And this is what I was worried about all week last week. I've been talking about it all week last week. The same thing. I've been talking about it. I've been saying, you know what? That Chelsea game, I'm not really too giddy about it. I'm happy we won, but I'm a bit cautious about it because they were down to 10 men. And also, I want to see Man United bounce back and beat Brentford because I've seen us beat Man City and lose to West Brom. I've seen these things over and over again over the last few years. There's a cultural problem, a character problem at this football club, and I'm not going to believe anything until I see us beat Brentford and then go on to beat Sunderland. Now, here we are, guys. We lost to Brentford, right? We'll go and beat Sunderland, no doubt. Look, guys, we'll beat Sunderland. Don't worry about that. But we lose to Liverpool. And then we're back to square one. What are we doing here? 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. The same thing every single time. Every single season. That's what we are. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And I don't know what we have to do. Sack the manager, do what you need to do. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I don't believe sacking the manager would do anything for this football club, but do it. Do it. Sack him. I'm not saying anything. I said I'm down the middle. Do it. Sack him. Start again. And I'll just cross my arms and wait for it, guys, like this. And I'll wait for things to go wrong again. Because unless you're going to get rid of the poison at this football club, you got rid of a few, but there's still a lot at this football club. Like I said, if I was the board, if I was the owner of Man United, I'll say, right, guys, how many of those players have been there for a number of years now? Who are the players there? Oh, Dalot, Shaw, Bruno, Maguire. They've been there how long? 5-6 years? Okay, these guys need to go. They need to go. That would have been the first thing I would have done. These guys need, I don't care how valued they are at the football club. I don't care how light they are at the football club. I don't care about a player FC. These guys need to go. And that's what I would say. First thing I would have done. I mean, how can we have in 2025, Dalot, the worst right back of all time, right? Maguire, Bambi on ice, right? Bruno, overrated, right? And then it was overrated stat merchant. The only thing he was good at was penalties. He's not even good at that anymore. He's missed 2, right? Matt Letizia missed 2 in his whole career, right? Cantona missed 1 in his whole career. So look, at the end of the day, until we get rid of these players that have been there many, many years, I don't think we can really be talking about progress, because we're not progressing. And I blame a lot of this on the board. Of course I do. Of course I blame it on the board. This was not a rebuild in the summer. That's why I gave it a 4 or 5 out of 10. But there are players in that squad that should be playing ahead of, the players that are playing yesterday. Everyone knew that Senny Lamensha started that game. Now, look, you look at the first goal from Brentford. You look at Maguire, slow. But where was the midfield again? Bruno going missing again, But then Maguire, too slow. Why is he playing in the middle? That's down to Ruben Amorim. He's playing in the middle. But look at Bayin there. Here you go. Here's my right. You can just pull it in the corner here. Just pull it in the corner here. I couldn't believe the goal went in. I was rubbing my eyes. I was like, what? That went in? I couldn't believe it went in. I was looking at it and like, my goodness me. And that changed the whole game, didn't it? Moments in the game that change, of course. Big up, Grail. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. I hope you're well, of course. Good to see you, brother. What about Amorim thinking, picking the absolute shite team? Fernandes, Maguire, Shaw, Dalot, and Bain there. Grail, we know, don't we? And I've always said over the years, it takes one bad apple to destroy the apple bowl, doesn't it? And when you play one of them alone, it's bad enough. When you play all of them that you mentioned, you're heading for failure. I thought to myself yesterday when I was seeing Dalot, Maguire, Shaw, Bruno, I was seeing all these players, and people think I'm banging on about it. And there was a lot of people, even in this community today, who are staunch defenders of Bruno, staunch defenders of Dalot, and we know who they are, right? And we were talking and we were calling them out, and they were saying, "No, he's good. He's this. He does this. He does that." At the end of the day. And what I would say is this, right, guys. I would say this, that unless these players leave the football club, we're not going to be going anywhere, to be honest with you. We're not going to be going anywhere. We're not going to be doing anything in the near future, guys. And Ruben Amorim is to blame for picking that team. Right. As a Man United manager, you should be doing your research as a Man United manager. If you're a Man United manager, you should be doing your research about these players. That's what you should be doing. Because what I see that he hasn't done any research. He hasn't looked into what those players are, what those players do, what those players did last season, how many managers they have sacked. We all know that Bruno only plays because he's Portuguese. We know that Dalot plays because he's Portuguese. We all know that. But that happens in football. That happens in Spain, France, England, everywhere. It happens. Favoritism because of the communication thing. That happens, right? So, but what I would say is that it takes a strong manager, a tough manager, to say, look, this guy is not good enough for me. We need an Alex Ferguson. I'm telling you. We need someone like that who's going to come in there and say, right, Bruno, F off. Get out of my club, F off. And that's what we need. And I don't think we have that. We ain't got any. And I look at the manager pool out there, and I'm looking at who can possibly do that. There's no managers out there these days that can come into this football club and totally throw the kitchen sink, everything. You know what I mean? There's no one there that can do it. And it's needed at this football club. It's needed. We need discipline at this football club, At the end of the day, we need discipline. Sal, we've spoken so many times about Fernandes being a liability, and we've been proven right time and time again. Absolutely, brother. I actually think Amorim is trying to get himself sat. I don't even know, Grayo. He's definitely achieving that, trying to get sat. I mean, I actually think he believes that Bruno can play in the midfield, and that's where I get worried about it, because most of us, he's been playing that since the beginning of the season. So I would say that, you know, he's going to live and die on his sword. He's going to live and die on his sword, and he's going to be thrown. They're going to throw him under the bus. They're going to throw him under the bus, just like every other manager before him. They're going to throw him under the bus. And I said it about Rashford, and I say it about a number of these players. These players are liars. They're liars. They're manipulators. They'll play well in training. They'll impress you. You go, wow, he's looking good in training today. Didn't Benedict McCarthy say that a year ago? Benny McCarthy said that some of these players play very well in training, but when it gets to match day, you don't know what's going on. It's not the same player. Wasn't it Benny McCarthy that said that? You know what I mean? Absolutely. Kingsley, is a scammer. He's not ready for the job. I mean, Kingsley, what we're going to do, right? He's ruined his career. You know, I mean, he's going to have to go back to Portugal and probably manage someone else now. I just don't think that what we got to understand is this, right? It takes a collective, Kingsley, a collective. When Ruben Amorim walked in his football club, we all knew the distinctive style of play. We all knew what he'd done in the Champions League. We all knew what he'd done in Portugal, etc. But Manchester United are a completely different animal. There are things at Man United, like Ruben Amorim said the other week, that we don't even know about. We have no idea about, right? And these things will not change with the next manager and the next manager and the next manager. But what we needed to do when we brought in a new manager, we needed to simplify things a little bit. You know, bring in a manager that is not such a dramatic change. And if we did bring in a manager like Ruben Amorim, who is a massive change in regards to the way we play, etc., we needed to completely rip it all out and start again, which Ineos were not prepared to do. They were not willing to rip it out and start again. They're willing to fix various positions, the attack, but what about the rest of the team? Because we all know that we have problems in our midfield, our goalkeeper, our defense, our wing backs. Everything there is a problem. So how is that in reality a rebuild? Ruben Amorim's system works on wing backs. We got two dud wing backs, guys. And Dorgu was not his guy. And Dorgu's young, and I rate Dorgu. He's not the biggest problem. Dalot, however, not marking his man yesterday again, you know, absolutely useless. Ogmegi, good morning, Sal. How many times does Amorim need to be told these players who have sacked previous managers can't be trusted? He's literally sacking himself. Look, you know what I said before Eric Ten Hag, and everyone who's Eric Ten Hag out will not come back to me today and apologize, because they won't. That's what they're like. I did say that we will be here in a year if those players are still at this football club. And, you know, we've got rid of a few, but Man United needs to get rid of about 10, 11 players. We've only got rid of a few. Not really got rid of them, but we've loaned them out. So, you know, they've been loaned out. They're not really gone, are they? They're not gone. They're still at the football club. In the summer, they're going to be back. And the new manager, if we get a new manager in, that new manager is going to be responsible for those players as well, next season as well. So you're absolutely right, Ogbegi. It does boil down to Ruben Amorim's team selection. Every single one of those players that have been there and sacked multiple managers, as I said earlier, should not be at this football club. It's game over for me. It was game over a long time ago for these players for me. They should be gone. By hook or by crook, get rid of them. People love Dalot because he's like this. Oh, yeah, mwah, mwah, mwah. That's why they love him. Because they get manipulated by little things. I don't. I don't get manipulated by knee slides. I don't. I get manipulated by results on the pitch. You know, that is what I get manipulated by. Results on the pitch. And, and that is what it's all about. Results on the pitch. That's the only thing that turns me. I don't care if you're kissing the badge. I don't care if you're doing a knee slide. I don't care about any of that business. All I care is about the results on the pitch, and that is what we're not getting. And listen, Ruben Amorim's a big part to blame. And now, looking at results, Ruben Amorim, in theory, looking at the football hemisphere, he should be sacked. We've got less points than West Ham had, Mr. Graham Potter had in his time at West Ham. You know? So obviously Lamens wasn't the goalkeeper he wanted, as if it would have started in every game this season. But no, we're stuck with buying there. No. I mean, Grayo, Lamens is good enough. I've watched Sally Lamens for over 1 year, and that guy is good enough to play in goal for Man United. He's better than buying there, and I've said it over and over again. I mentioned him a year ago, and I mention it again. It's not about he doesn't believe in Lamens. It's about that he's scared to play a new goalkeeper, and that is where you have to be bold and brave as a manager. Do you honestly think Shaw is better than Aiden Heaven? Do you honestly think Maguire is better than Lenny Yoro? You know, it's disgraceful, isn't it? Do you honestly think Mainu can't play in that number 8 position better than Bruno? Because he can. He is a number 8. All right, he gave it about ball away for the 3rd goal, but the game was lost. We were trying to push forward and stuff like that. So it was a completely different thing. You know? Ruben Amorim, he is sacking himself. He is sacking himself throughout. Whether he's purposely doing it or not, I don't know. But what he's doing is picking the wrong lineup. And what I saw yesterday, I saw a lineup that was careful, is perseverance, self-perseverance. It's basically like trying to not lose rather than trying to win, you know, and that is my biggest problem. We need to make decisions, guys, over this next week. It's going to be a very important, very interesting week, of course. So we need to make a decision what happens with Ruben Amorim, what's going to happen in the future of Ruben Amorim, what's going to happen this week. In my opinion, if Ineos are going to do something, they need to do it now. That's my opinion, right? Just bring in anyone. Just bring in anyone for now. And look, I don't like stopgap managers. I never like that. Interim managers. I don't think it works. I don't think it works. But we have to do something. And look, I wouldn't sack him. I wouldn't. However, I would say that I don't trust him not to drop Bruno. I don't trust him to drop Dallo. I don't trust him to do something different that I'm going to look at him and go, look, you know what? I believe in this manager because he's doing this, A, B, and C. You know, he's doing this, and this. I don't believe him to do that. If I saw the game yesterday and I saw, you know what, he's got Matato as a right wing back, you know, and he's got Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven as a centre backs, right? And he's got Shea Lacey on the bench. He's going to be coming on very, very soon. And you got Kolungi and you got these players. And I'm looking at it, and you got Musa and you got Chido Obi Martin. And you look at it and you think, well, you know what, that Man United team is pretty young as well. And you know what, at least he's thinking about the future. I don't see that. I see a team that is reminiscent of the teams that I've seen before. The only difference is the forward line. But how can you expect a forward line to be effective when we have a midfield like that? Now, everyone's going to blame Ugarte. It's a low knowledge because Ugarte played well yesterday. Probably our man of the match, right? And to be honest with you, the reason that Ugarte is playing poorly is because of Bruno. Every player that's going to play in that midfield is going to play poorly because Bruno's next to him and Bruno's ill-disciplined in his position. You know? Amorim is that one man who is good at vibes, but not good enough in bed, even lasting a minute in bed. I mean, when people talk like that, probably last a minute in bed. So I think you're talking about yourself, mate. Some little bit of insecurities going there, bro. Good at, only joking. Good at press, sweet talking, but bad and worse at everything. The only thing he's bad at, and I'll tell you right now, is team selection. Team selection. And he's not the only one. Many managers before him have been manipulated by these players. Manipulated by these players, you know? Ephraim. Sal, how are we signing a goalkeeper and not start him? I mean, it's not the owners, is it? It's him. It's Ruben Amorim. He needs to play him. He needs to be bold. He needs to be brave. You think when Alex Ferguson, right, brought in David De Gea, who was 20, 3 years younger than Senny Lamens, right? It took Alex Ferguson a lot of bold, confident, bold guts to do that, to bring in a 20-year-old goalkeeper into there. But why did he do it? Because fortune favors the brave. In football, fortune favors the brave. You have to be brave. Don't keep doing things that have failed anyway. I guarantee you wouldn't have lost 3-1 yesterday if Lamens was in goal. Probably wouldn't have conceded the first goal, but it's just the way it is, isn't it? You know? He needs to be brave. Fortune favors the brave. That's what he needs to do. Good morning, Keith. How you doing, my friend? Big up, friend. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Dalot, Maguire, and Bruno need to be dropped and moved on. They are not the future and are not good enough. I agree, Keith, 100%. I mean, what can I do, bruv? Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, Bruno. The bomb squad 2.0. That's what it is, because how can they not be part of the bomb squad? How can they not be part of that bomb squad if they've been there for many, many years with those bomb squads, communicating, going out with those bomb squads? As I said, when I walked into that football club, the first thing I would have done, which players have been there many years? Which players have done that? And I would have been told, this player, get rid of them. I don't want them at the football club. I want a completely new canvas. I want a completely new team. That's what I would have done. Grayo, do you think Amorim is being held to ransom by the remaining bomb squad? Things will never change until Ineos and the Glazers are gone. I really can't see any way out of this, brother. I mean, bro, I feel the same as you, Grayo. We could sack the manager, Grayo, and as you know, we've been here before. I spoke about Ten Hag, and I said that in 1 year's time, it's not going to change. And I said that last year. Before Ruben Amorim walked out, I said, watch, guys, I'll just be here in 1 year's time, and I'm going to be talking about the same thing, and it will be worse. And here we are, lo and behold. It's worse, isn't it? And this is what I'm talking about. People need to listen sometimes, you know what I mean? And what we need to do before anything else, if I was the owner of Manchester United, right, Ineos have gone down to the training field. They've gone down to Carrington. They've spoken to Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim needs to be honest. What do you want to succeed? What do you need to succeed? What is wrong with this football club? And we all know, we're Man United fans. We know that the biggest problem at this football club is the players and the ownership, and the players that have been there many, many years. They can pretend they're good players. But as I said, 9 of those players played in the Europa League final. 9. And that's what I'm saying. That was an important game, right, to qualify us for the Champions League, right? And they failed. They flopped. So what makes people think that these players are going to get up for Brentford if they can't get up for the Europa League final against a weak Tottenham team? So what makes these people think they're going to get up against Brentford? It's the same, isn't it? It's just insanity. If we're going to get rid of the manager, get rid of the manager. Sack the manager, that's fine. But boy, oh boy, get rid of those players. Every one of them that's been there a number of years. Get rid of him. Get rid of that captain, the worst captain in our history. Get rid of him. He's not a Man United captain. He's an embarrassment to the captain's armband. He's an embarrassment to Brian Robson. He's an embarrassment to Eric Cantona. He's an embarrassment to all the players that came before him. Fluctuant, throwing his arms around, everything like that. Blame when he's the one making mistakes. I cannot accept the fact that Lenny Yoro is being dropped from the football team because of Bruno's mistakes. And because Bruno went to the media and backstabbed the manager and spoke about Lenny Yoro. And yet people still living up his backside. It's ridiculous. Big up, Grayo. Legend. Amorim is gone. That's a fact. However, it's a shame how these players, will survive. Bruno, Dalot, Harry, let's go in January now. I agree, Shakti. Look, I wouldn't call the season a write-off. It's still very early in the season, but we got a chance to fix it, Shakti. We can fix it. This is not irretrievable this season, right? We can fix it. How do we fix it? We got to make some big decisions, Shakti, We got to make some massive decisions. We got to get rid of those players you mentioned, mate. We have to. By January, look, the season will probably be over in January. Probably be about 20 points away from the top 4. I think we're already about 10, 15, something like that. No, actually, we're about 5, isn't it? 5 or 6. Look, luckily, yesterday, everyone lost. So we got a chance to retrieve this, We got a chance to change here, But the first thing I would do, I would tell Ruben Amorim, Ruben, I don't want to sack you, mate, but you got to get rid of Bruno. You can't play Dalot. You can't play Maguire. You can't play Luke Shaw. These 4 players in particular need to be gone, mate. We can't play them anymore. That's the problem, I don't understand it. Then you're expecting them to play an expansive, brand new style of football that requires intelligence, IQ, fitness. They can't do it. They're not good enough. The only reason they succeeded for a little while under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is because they were playing counter-attacking football. And when it was time to down-tool, they down-tooled. They down-tooled with a legend of Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They down-tooled with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What makes you think they're not going to down-tool against Ruben Amorim? These players should not be playing for this football club. These players need to leave this football club. Honestly, God, I'll be honest, guys. I would much rather Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, Mantato, Diego Leon. I would rather all these players be playing for Man United rather than them bums. And that's what I would say. I'd rather play Coney in midfield than bloody Bruno Fernandes. You know, and this is the thing. We got some great young players in that team. Play them. You know, because every time they seem to play, we seem to do things. Durex, playing Dallo as a centre-back, Mount in a left wing-back nailed me. His failure to adapt to get him results, and especially in the games. Amorim failed to convince 4 different Premier League teams to get himself the job. No, that's not true. They couldn't afford him. That's the truth, Dewey Zil. Don't make up things. That they couldn't afford him. They couldn't afford the rebuild. The reason they didn't get Ruben Amorim, it's not that they didn't rate Ruben Amorim. They couldn't afford the rebuild that Ruben Amorim's tactics and system would require, right? Not only that, the amount of money that Ruben Amorim would cost. That's why they didn't bring in Ruben Amorim. Now, you know as well as I do that if Ruben Amorim was the manager of Liverpool, if Ruben Amorim was the manager of Real Madrid, they would have gave him the proper rebuild and he would have been succeeding right now. You know that. Man United is the problem. Let's not get it twisted. We're the problem, the board is the problem, the ownership is the problem, and that is what we are. We have to look at things in an intelligent way, not just blame one tunnel visioned Ruben Amorim, because it's not that. Because many managers come in, highly rated managers come into this football club and you know what, failed. Ruben Amorim's done it in the Champions League, undefeated. Smashing up Man City 4-1. So what happens? All of a sudden you become a bad manager like that? No. The problem is that when we brought in Ruben Amorim, it needed to be a rebuild. It completely needed to be blown out of the water, completely different team. That's what it needed to be. You know? Big up Earth fan. Oh, you are being alcoholic by now. It's difficult. Daryl, I'm not looking forward to Sunderland either. They look good, mate. Honestly, the players are letting another manager down. So absolutely, Daryl, we know that. We know that. But it's up to Ruben Amorim to spot this. It's up to Ruben Amorim to identify the problem at the football club. As a manager, you've got to identify problems. And he hasn't identified the problems, or he's just being stubborn. He needs to identify those problems, and he needs to get rid of those problems at this football club. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem like the guy to identify the problems. He doesn't seem the guy to take a bold move, to be brave. And that's the problem I have with it. And that's why I think, look, you know what? They might as well just part ways with him, because they're not going to back him with new players. They're not going to spend any more money. They only spent a quarter of what Liverpool spent, by the way. I would say that just simplify it then. Go and get Gareth Southgate. Go and do what you want to do. That's what's going to happen at the end of the day, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sam Allardyce, whoever you want to bloody get, go and get them. Do it then. Great managers, right? People say bring in Carrick, all these managers have been sacked. Even Ruud van Nistelrooy has been sacked. You know, all these managers have been sacked as well. You know, Neil Warnock can get Leicester promoted. You know, and that's the thing. You know, and look, I just think that we just need to make some drastic changes at this football club. We really do, because we're going to be here, you know, losing games. We're losing too many games, far too many games, and we need to move on. And the thing with Ruben Amorim, we know that when it comes to Sunderland, Daryl, when it gets to the Sunderland game, we know that he's not going to change it. Not dramatically anyway. He probably changed a couple of the back three, but he's not going to change anything else. He's not going to change the midfield. He's not going to bring Mainu in. He's not going to remove Bruno. He's going to play Dallo as a right back. He's not going to bring in Mantato, is he? He's just going to do the same thing over and over again, you know. And this is my biggest worry about the new manager that comes in. These players are poor footballers. Poor, mentally flawed. No manager is going to come in and make Maguire, Shaw, Bruno, all these players right there, Dallo, world-class players. They're going to be poor. They're going to be poor. That's what I would say. Ogmigi, if Amorim knew his first 11, we wouldn't be biting our tongues like this. The thing is that, you know, he keeps changing it. We were scammed by Sporting. How the hell are we still here crying out for a sack by now? He should have been gone by the Europa final already. Duez, calm down, man. You know, at the end of the day, he done it in the Champions League. That's why it's not just about scamming Portugal, because he didn't. You got to look at the bigger picture. You got to look at the ownership, because why was all these managers been sacked as well? Why? I'm not saying he shouldn't be sacked. Of course he should. But why are all these managers not being sacked? Why? You know? No, and I would say to you, research. That's it. Research. Grayo, what are the odds in Amorim playing the exact same team against Sunderland? If he does that, then it's obviously he's trying to get sacked. There's a lot of good shit going on. Nothing. But look, guys, the one thing I will say about football, the biggest problem in football at the moment is basically managers getting paid for being sacked. I think that this needs to change. I think when your managers are losing and it's not going well, they're like, well, this is not going well. I might as well just try and get the sack. And you can actually slander yourself, so to speak, and get sacked and then get 12, 15 million in the payoff. This needs to be removed. This right here, the 12 million package that you get paid needs to be removed. Contractually, when a new manager comes in, it's a no-brainer. You don't get results. That's it. You have to get a certain amount of results to get sacked. You know what I mean? And you're not getting any money for it. Right? This whole clause where you get sacked and you get paid for being sacked for incompetence needs to be removed from football. I don't know how they've got this rule in football, you know? Irfan, I feel for the player Cunha, Sesko, Leon, Heaven, Lamens, Mbuemo, Yoro, Delict, and Licha. Yep, absolutely. I do. Thank you so much, Sanjit, for your super chat, my guy. Really appreciate you as well. How will you react if Amorim picks the same lineup against Sunderland? We need Moneyball strategy. All these dinosaurs need to be out. These players have made United manager a graveyard. Great comment, Sanjit. If he does the same against Sunderland, there will be enough is enough for me. That will be enough is enough. It's enough right now. To be honest with you, I think they should just part ways. But the thing, the subject that I'm bringing into the stream today is that I don't think it will change. I don't. My biggest problem is not sacking Ruben Amorim. Do it. I've got no affiliation to the millionaire Ruben Amorim. Right. What I'm talking about is I don't think that this will change. I don't think it will change. I don't think that a new manager is going to come in and suddenly miraculously change things. There might be a new manager bounce that we know if the nucleus of that team is still there. When the new manager comes in, they're gonna down tool because they're not very good mentally, and this is my biggest problem. If Ruben Amorim gets removed, I want to see all those players that have let down so many managers over the years being removed too. You know, I don't want to just see the manager getting removed and then we get a new manager in Glasner, whoever it is, and then we're doing the same thing. You know, they're just not good enough. Football's a simple game. These players are not good enough. You know what I mean? And this is we can keep saying that, you know, bringing a manager and a manager only. Unless you have better players, you're not going to improve. We don't have good players. Not only that, we don't have good players. We don't have mentality-wise players. More importantly, they don't have the mentality and culture to play for this Man United. They don't. They don't understand of what the football club is about. There are a few players that do, and you know who they are because we see them every single week. Delict, you know, player, for example, always gets a 6 or 7 out of 10, no matter what the game is. You know that he's a good player. You know, big up Sanjay, and thank you so much for your generosity, my friend. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it, guys. Big up Johnny, what's going on? Hi Sal, big up Johnny. No wingbacks, no midfield. Release the old guards from Bruno, Maguire, Dalot Shaw. Please take Dorgu along. Now, Johnny, you know, I would probably loan Dorgu out. But in regards to the other players, Johnny, you're absolutely right. Ruben Amorim's system relies heavily on wingbacks. Like I said during the season, before the season started, I was a big advocate for a wingback. I said right wingback in particular. I was talking about Fernandes, Frimpong, all these players that should be at Manchester United because it's what we need to fit the system. We have still got the same problem. Dalot is not a wingback, right? He's not a wingback. He's a fullback. Right? And as I said yesterday, I was speaking about Dalot, and I was speaking about his time at AC Milan when he was on loan at AC Milan, and I was speaking to AC Milan fans before a couple of years ago, and they were telling me he's an awful player. So I believe them. I believe he is an awful player. And, you know, and if he's still got the nucleus of that at this football club, then what can you... And I actually think they're worse than I actually thought they were. I actually think Luke Shaw's finished. Luke Shaw should be playing in League One. I've never seen someone so overweight, unfit as him, playing for a big Premier League football club. Maguire should be playing in a lower team like Everton. Yeah? And that's an insult to Everton, to be honest, because they got Jareth Branthwaite and people like that. So he needs to go to another football club. You got Dalot, who should be in the Portuguese league with Boa Vista or something like that. You know what I mean? And Dorgu needs to be on loan. We've thrown him into the deep end. It's unfair on Dorgu. He's 20 years old. We've thrown him into the deep end and expected him to do things. But what I would say is that give Diego Leon a chance. Give him a chance. You know what I mean? I've seen Diego Leon and absolutely fact. Give Lamens a chance. Bayender's not even good enough for Galatasaray or Fenerbahce. You know? Chow. How many times do we see Bruno blame the players but himself? I'm tired. Absolutely, Chow. I mean, and then there's people, I don't mind people, right, who bring in an array, who test me mentally with things. And they bring in an array of scenarios in which Man United are doing bad. And, you know, and manager one, Bruno, another one, ownership, blah, 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 da-di-da-di-da. I like that about people who do that. But there's some people who will not call out Bruno because he's their favorite player. They're the Bruno FC brigade. He's their favorite player. He can do no wrong. It's Bruno Captain Magnifico, the stat merchant. And how many times I've said on this channel, you can remove the best stat-packed player in that team and your team could improve. The highest stat player in your team is not necessarily good for your team. It's hard to explain to the people of the low end of the IQ spectrum. When Liverpool removed Coutinho out of their team, they improved as a team. We need to remove Bruno out of the team, play a new team for a few games. You're going to see a new team. There's no coincidence that the likes of Bruno, the likes of Cunha, the likes of Mbeumo, the likes of Sesko, that these players are not achieving anything if they're run by a petulant little child who likes to blame every single person but himself. You know? Ephraim, Sal, the one who criticised Euro started every game and Euro bench and Bruno can decide absolutely. Does Bruno have is Bruno the one who's calling all the shots here? And this is what we're saying, you know? Exactly. Stephen, Manchester United are a disgrace, can't even beat a team that sold their best players and have a set-piece coach. Sunderland will beat United. You know what the funny thing is, Stephen, is that I think we'll beat Sunderland and then we'll go on and lose to Liverpool. I just see Man United doing something like that. That's what Man United do. And then we're back in square one. I just feel like, Stephen, that we need to make a decision now, and not only with the manager about these players as well. It's too late to replace them, but I would be telling the manager right now, you need to bring in some of those kids, man. Honestly, Lenny Yoro and Heaven should be starting in the centre backs. Try Diego Leon. You know, bring in Mantata right wing back. Move on. There's Thwaites as well. There's Kolungi. There's Fredrickson. There's all these different young players that are coming up the ranks. We got some good young players there. Shea Lacey coming through, who will give their 100% for the football club, and that is exactly what Alex Ferguson used to say, isn't it? You know, William. I said that Sal, don't be surprised if Bruno is the leader of the bomb squad because he ain't the leader of the team. Morning, by the way. Morning, William. I hope you're well. Thank you so much. Sanjay, respect my friend. I was going to say exactly the same thing. This is a morning. Man United manager's graveyard. Absolutely. Big up Sanjay, of course. United cannot survive versus Sunderland. United can't. We'll have to wait and see. Wimbledon going back-to-back wins the majority of the games that we did win, either against relegation for or 10 men. Yeah, I know that, but you got to blame the players as well, RDZ, not just the manager, because those players are the ones on the pitch. You can't beat the relegated. They can't beat Grimsby, mate. You know what I mean? And that doesn't require any managerial nous or skill to beat Grimsby. And they should be good enough to do it on their own. And they don't do it. And that was the biggest clue of the season, you know? Nothing would change long as Glazers are just shite German charge. I agree with that. SS7, nothing's going to change even if we sack the manager, guys. Sack the manager, like I said, guys, because I'll be proven right. I'll be proven right. You'll get your new manager bounce. You'll get your new manager bounce, but I'll be proven right in the long term because you know what? We'll go back to default settings with those players. We need to take all the Portuguese elements out of this team. All three of them are letting us down. Is there three? Is there? Oh, yeah, Bruno and the manager, of course. Neil, Bruno and Maguire, Dalot, if you need about plus 5 seasons to see where they are not good enough, you will not make it anywhere near Fergie's back room. None of these players would be at the football club. If Fergie was still at the football club, my man, Neil, none of these players will be at this football club. None of them. They'll all be gone by now. Bruno needs to give penalties to someone else. He has missed twice. Both cost us the game. And I knew he was going to miss. I think everyone had a feeling. I think there was a tense atmosphere around it. And I was looking at his face, Stabby Stats. And I was looking at his face and he looked nervous. And I went, good morning, Damien. how you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. But like I said, guys, I'm not on this channel going to be screaming at the obvious, because I know that the obvious is not the only problem at this football club. The obvious, sacking the manager. Okay, route one, sack the manager, get him out of my football club. He's a fraud, all this business. Okay, that's one thing. That's one thing. You think things are going to change, mate? You honestly think that things are going to change if we sack the manager? Goodness me, we're going to be in 1 year and we're going to be talking about the same thing. You think that Glasner, Mr. Nice Guy, right? And you can tell him, like my guy Tyborg says, he knows a Glasner. These players will throw him under the bus. I'm telling you right now. And I'm not going to lie, guys. They will throw him under the bus. What Man United need, they need something. We can't get rid of the board. This is what it is. The board is the board, right? The Glazers and Ineos are what they are. They're scumbags. We know what they are. But we need to cut them off and say, how, as a football team unit, as a football team, can we improve as a football team? All right? And the thing what we can do is that we need someone, like I said, a Roy Keane, who's going to go in there and kick some butt. He's going to go in there and say, right, you're not my captain. Roy Keane was right about Bruno, by the way. He was 100% right, you know? William, when you think he hit rock bottom, I told you guys, like when Ten Hag was manager, I said, don't think we're going to improve. Don't think things are going to get any better, because they're not going to get any better. And here we are, you know what I mean? Big up, William. Alex, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Starting Shaw, Dalot, Maguire, Bayer tells you Amorim wants to be fired on purpose. Alex, you know what would... Next week when we play Sunderland, if he picks the same lineup, I give up. I'll give up. This is what I've been saying. We don't know 100%, right? If it's doing it on purpose or he's trying to be safe in his team selection, which is not, because he's losing. But we need to take away managers being paid for being sacked. That's what we need to take away. We need to take away that from football, because it opens the door for down tooling. If you know that I'm going to get paid 15 million if I get sacked, is it worth it? Speak to your wife, speak to your kids. Should I just get sacked and we go back to Portugal? We need to take that away from football, guys. We need to take away the element of being paid for being sacked, being paid for incompetence. That's what we need to take away. We need to get rid of that from the football. Absolutely. In my opinion. David says, only positive from that game is Sesko scoring. Yeah, great for Sesko. Congratulations, Sesko getting his first goal, but you know what? Rather us win, isn't it? A7, we all know that we needed to buy 7-8 top-class quality players, experienced players from the first team. Gin and Glazer don't care about our club as long as they are making money. And that is one of the biggest problems at the football club, A7K. That is one of the biggest problems at the football club. Is something that we were touching on at the beginning of the season. And I said, look, you guys are going to throw Ruben Amorim under the bus, you know, as soon as the results start going pear-shaped, and which they are. However, Ruben Amorim is making some obvious tactical team selection errors, which obviously do feed into the narrative that, you know what, he's not right for the job. And Ineos are the start of that. And they are, and the Glazers are the start of that and the end of that. Because if they brought a couple of midfielders in, if they've built the squad a little bit more efficiently, I don't think we'll be in this position right now. I think if we had Adam Wharton and Belaber in midfield, for example, or Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson or someone like that, of that ilk, or anyone like that, I actually feel that we'll be in a much, much, much better position right now. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we have to play players out of position, shoehorn players into position. And that's not just the player lack of talent. I mean, it is down to Ruben Amorim as well, because we do have some players there who fit into the system better than what other players do, don't we? Absolutely. Big up everyone, by the way. Big up Vishwa, my friend. Big up everyone. Please smash the like, guys. Thank you so much, Graham. Don't forget to smash the like on the stream, guys. Thank you very much, everyone who's joined me today. Really, really appreciate everyone, guys. Dan Hope, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. No matter what the system, the players are Bruno, Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, and Bayindet are not good enough. I remember them from last year, 2-3 years. Amorim needs to go to. I mean, they do need to go as well. Guys, let's get to 50 likes, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the way out, guys. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Please don't forget to smash a like. Guys, please, everyone. Let me just read through some of these comments. If I missed anyone, if I missed any super chats. Big up Han Solo, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Agreed. Absolutely. Guys, let me just see if I missed any super chats. Don't want to miss any super chats, guys. Absolutely not. Big up Sanjit for the super chat, by the way. Big up everyone, guys. MB Creator, no manager has been able to evolve the squad since Oli designed a new counter-attacking team with Bruno as the spearhead. He's the kingpin of player power, and for the second time in his career, is leaving. I agree with that, mate. These players are designed to play counter-attacking football. I agree with that. We got a counter-attack mentality, haven't we, MB Creator? We got a counter-attack mentality. 15 manager, 50 players full. I would say a bit less. Less for the manager, but yeah. Guys, thank you everyone for joining me today. Really appreciate it. 53 likes. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you all. Have a great day. Have a great Sunday. We move on. And guys, see you soon. See you for Chatterbox. And have a great day. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Peace. Big up, Grail.